Time for a new project, new video, I guess, maybe. Yeah, so this one here, let's lean on the garbage can here and talk for a minute. This project that I'm about to show you was dropped on my doorstep a month ago, something like that. And it was in Edmonton getting painted. Turns out the guy, it is windy where I am. Hang on. I didn't realize it was this windy. Well, I did. Before I show you. The guy that owns this, he was getting it painted by a guy in Edmonton. Anywho, the guy did some bodywork, some paint on it, and in order to get their vehicle back, they ended up having to use excessive force in ways, one could say, without harm. But and the reason I say is the guy turned out to be a crackhead, completely whacked out of his mind. And if you've ever dealt with any of those kinds of people, you understand. So anyway, this car, he phoned me and asked if I could look at it. And I told him I really didn't want to do work for him a whole lot or anything because, well. So, anywho, basically what I'm doing now is I gotta go through this whole car. I originally went and looked at it, and I told him you can get the seats in, carpet in, that kind of stuff. Well, he ended up putting door handles on, windows in, bumpers on. So now this created a whole lot more work for me that was not included in the price tag. So there'll be a little additional charge on that one. But let me show you this. And there we go. So, I don't know, 98 Jetta. This is going to be an exact clone of Jesse's VR6 Jetta from Fast and Furious, the very first one. So they have the VR6 for it, it's just not in it right now. And appropriate headlight covers, like everything's appropriate for the car. Here. So anyway, yeah, I turned my phone off there. I don't know how to hold this properly. There. So anyway, the owner tried wet sanding it himself, and just by quick glance on it, did an absolute terrible job. No offense, man, but you tried. I give you a 10 out of 10 for that. But in order for this whole thing to be re-cleared and looking proper, and it is relatively wavy down the whole side of it, so that's going to take a bit of work to do. I'm going to have to come up with a couple tricks because I don't have all the proper sanding paper with me, but it'll look good when we're all done. So the whole plan is I'm going to kind of go through the outside of the car. I got to remove all the stuff now that he added on, so extra time, extra hours, extra labor. And then once I do all that, tape all the edges off, I'm going to do each panel one by panel, and I'm going to basically, I got to run masking tape around it all, assess the damage, assess how straight it is, put guide coat on it, and then sand the whole thing down. And we're going to try and do it so that way we don't have to re-spray in color. We're just re-spraying in clear. I'm pretty sure there's going to be some touch-up spots in color, most definitely, because yeah, we'll just leave it at that. So yeah, let's look at this. We've got, in order to clear this, what the flip do we got going on? That doesn't look right. So we got to do obviously something with that. Oh, looks like the side skirts are molded in. And hang on, let's zoom in. So we've already got cracks forming in the side skirts. Oh, just a quick analysis on this car. It's all right, but she's pretty rough. Like there's some good dingers in the roof there. Dingers in the back. Oh yeah, this whole side skirt's gonna crack all the way off. I can see that. Give it like one road trip, that crack's gonna be. And like, look at this, how they removed the sprayed right over top. It looks like grinding marks, 36 grit grinding marks right in there. Oh, the whole fucking thing to remove the glue. That's real nice. Oh, I wonder why I take on jobs like this some days. Like I really shouldn't be doing this, but I'll make it look as good as I can. And when it's all done, It'll look good at probably 30 feet, 20 feet with all the stickers on it. It's no show paint job, nothing like that. Yeah, I guess we got to get to work by. Oh, rear bumper's got to come off. I'm gonna wait until last. Door handles, windows, door handle, windows crap, mirror. We can't take the side skirts off. How about on the back here? That's pretty much all has to stay. We've got gas cap door can kind of, we'll see, door handle, window stuff, mirror. Front bumper has to come off, and both headlights have to come off. And then we got some other pieces in there, but like this is my question. Like, look at this trunk lid. Dunk, 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 dunk. Like, look at that. So that needs adjusting. More hours labor there. All in all, I bet you I'm going to be into this thing for 30 hours at least, 40 hours. And then it's got to go to the paint shop to get re-cleared. And then I can go back to the client to put it back together because I'm not putting it back together. So yeah, I guess get to work and getting this thing all cleaned up. And we're going to wash the whole thing down first with some alcohol and stuff like that, get all the grease and grime and whatever has been touching it. And yeah, so welcome to my garage at home, and this is where I'm going to be doing a Fast and Furious car, so stay tuned while I R&I a bunch of pieces off this thing and make it so it's paintable again. Hopefully straighten some of the waves in the process. Yeah. When doing a paint job, you got to realize it all starts with the ground coat, and that's the bare metal. If you can't do a bare metal good, then you can't do the body work good. And if you can't do the body work good, then the primer doesn't turn out good. And the primer doesn't turn out good, then the sealer doesn't turn out good. And if the sealer doesn't turn out good, and then the base coat and the clear coat don't turn out good, regardless of what you do. So, it starts from the bottom ground up. Let's go. Okay, so that door's apart and that door's apart, but let me show you something. This is kind of like 1970s paint job done on this thing. So the door doesn't hit anything. And whoom! Anywho. So there's a bunch of polishing, some polishing compound left over. All that's gotta be cleaned up before it can be painted. The overspray is immense. Like, they oversprayed everything. So in all my years in the body shop industry, I would always mask all that off so there's like no overspray. And then, like, you see these here, they're all sprayed white and these bolts. Well, that's wrong. So I would always take those out and spray it. Like, it just takes away from the job, and it's the things that professionals notice. Because like stuff like that, that's amateur bullshit. That's all it is amateur BS. Like, the dry spray on this car is intense. Even if we look at this back one here, same thing, overspray everywhere. I'm shocked they masked that off, but oh, the edge on it. What I would like do with these, like when replacing quarter panels, we would heat them up, take them off, and then use 3M clear film, put them back on with adhesive tape. So yeah, they didn't do a, oh yeah, that whole thing's molded. That is gonna crack. So anyway, these two doors are done. Headlight bezels are off. I'm gonna go take the other two doors apart, and then I'll adjust the trunk, and then start masking it or wash it all down, and go from there. So, time lapse. You ask how we're doing. Well, we're having a jet of a good time. Corny. Anyway, hang on. So, this door's all stripped. And got... Yeah, it's not sanded very good. Everything's painted over. And this is the worst part, though. See the body lines? This one's a lot lower than this one. Might be hard to tell on the camera. Watch this. It's literally like... Oh, where's the handle? So that requires some massaging on door hinges. Alright, I'm going to tape these windows up so they don't rattle around. And then we're going to wipe this whole car down. Or actually, you know what? No, I'm going to adjust the trunk lid for us. That needs adjusting, so that'll be the first thing that we do. 13 or 14 millimeters, so. Alright, so first things first, gotta get this trunk adjusted. Now, easiest, best way to do this. Hang on, gotta find my socket. What the incarnation? We have issues, Houston. Issues. So, 10 millimeter almost disappeared. Almost had a freak out there. If you're a mechanic or bodyman or anyone that works with tools, I know you understand. So, when it comes to building cars, a lot of clients don't value the time that you put in is worth what they get. They don't think it is, right? Like I charge $100 an hour for simple, Canadian, that's what it comes down. And throughout all of that, a lot of clients get mad at me, get frustrated with me, say all those kinds of things, but I'm not the one that did previous work on this. I'm not the one that adjusted the door wrong. I'm not the one that adjusted this wrong, sounded wrong. So I'm the one with the experience that people come in and they better value my time and they work. So I swear some of the front stock. But I love working on cars like this. Like how many people get opportunities to work on cool cars like that? Not a lot. So you know what I thought? Oh yeah, with all the extra mill of paint, it's beautiful. So I can sit far out. Oh my god, that's heavy. Where? There's no shocks. Alright, so this side here, really, there's no need to come out. We're going to drop this side back down just a little. Oh, that's a heavy truck. Oh, they're loose. Oh, nicer. Oh. There's back seats open on this? Hell yeah. Okay, now we're tight. We're going to set that down, but one of the first things we're going to do, we're going to go up and down a lot. Let's protect the paint because we don't want chips. Even though we're repainting it, we don't want chips. There, that helps out. Still recording, right? I always hit the button on the phone. Oh. I always hit the button on the phone accidentally and shut it off, so it's kind of my fault. Okay. Let's see, where are we at? It's nice and tight, so you can see the nice sharp edge. Oh yeah.
Fuck your clubs, fuck your parties, chase your fucking dreams.
I just wanna go back to 1999. Took a ride to my old neighborhood. I just wanna go back, sing it baby one more time. Wanna go back, wanna go. Yeah, I just wanna go back. No, I can't go back. See
Well, that's the stage we're at so far. So it has been completely all wiped down now, and like with pre-cleaner, alcohol, whatever you want to say. And all the edges are masked up, and it is ready for sanding tomorrow. So yeah, that's what got done today on it. There's a few things I'll go over tomorrow, like when we do each panel on it. I'm going to go over each panel and show you all the issues and things like that. So like trunk lid is all lined up now. That door is all lined up now. There's one more that needs a little work too. So all good. That's one panel sanded. So that is really loud. I do not like using my little compressor. I prefer the big compressor in my shop. And so this is what we got. There. So this is all sanded down with 1000 grit right there. All the edges are not done, as you can tell. But putting the tape on enables me to use the DA sander to sand it all down, uniform. And then I put on tracer coat onto the panel before I sand, and then that tells me that I got rid of all the imperfections and everything like that. So yeah, paint is really thin on this. The guy that sprayed paint on this thing barely put enough on to even cover it. Like, oh, it's so thin. So yeah, I'll need a lot of touch-ups in order to actually look right. And I hate to say this, but when you say more touch-ups, that means more cost, because there's more product involved and all of that kind of thing, and more time involved, because now you got more product you got to mix up in order to paint it, and then you also got more time involved because you got to go around and blend in all the tiny little spots and make it look good, or you respray the entire car, which then even costs more money. So that's where we're at. Let's keep going. I'm gonna go grab my headphones, throw you on time lapse, and we're gonna sand our little hearts away. Okay, so shake and bake, baby. No, just take this stuff. This stuff right here is called guide coat. So what the guide coat does, obviously you can tell, hang on, that there's shiny parts in all the paint. So you put this on there, and this helps you tell the highs and lows of everywhere you need to sand. So I'm not blocking this car, so it's not going to be perfect, but we are going to get it as presentable as we can. Well, let's go the other way. Looks kind of cool. Little paint patch pattern, whatever you want to say. So you're doing time lapse now while I sand. Let's get this going. There you go again. So the car's like 3/4 sanded now. These are some of the things that I come across, so let me show you this. Camera's dirty. Anywho, we'll just hang on a second. Let's go back over here. So when the car was painted, they left the mirrors on the car. What happens is you get a really bad paint line, and if you prime or anything like that, you get overspray in there. Well, you can see that it wasn't. Hang on. There. You can see what that looks like. So this is what happens when you don't prep properly. Overspray comes off, and then hang on a sec. Whoop. Then you go wash your car one time with the pressure washer. It catches that lip. Whew, there goes all your paint job, and you're now mad at the painter. Well, the guy that painted this before, yeah, that's why. So you pay a little extra to have a good job done. So, like I said, there's more work in this car than what I originally intended when I first looked at it, and I'm going to charge for it. I don't do things for free anymore, nor do I want to. I believe that my experience goes with my value. So everyone needs to believe that if you've been in your trade a long time. That's just what it comes down to. So anyway, sanded. Front clippo to do now. So I'm not going to time lapse the front clip. That just seems pointless and meaningless. So yeah, I'll get the front clip all done. And then after I've done the front clip, we will go over all the edges and discuss kind of the next plan on the next stage. So back to my trusty sander and my shitty little air compressor, because my two big developers are at work. Whatever. Yeah, let's keep going. This is the third step I've done to it. I haven't recorded everything, but basically the third step. So I'm gonna wipe it all down, double check there's a lot of fish eyes in this hood. Like the paint was horrible, it was dry sprayed everywhere. It was dull, it was shiny. Fish eyes really bad in a bunch of spots. And then you can actually see 240 sanding scratches underneath the clear. It was already sinking back. So, yeah, that's where we're at so far with that. I've got the fender left, bumper, and a spoiler, but I still gotta do all the edges yet, so we're getting there. Slowly but surely, so hang on while we keep going ahead with this. It takes time. It takes a lot of time. No one understands how much time it takes, and then the materials, the expenses, and all that kind of stuff. Like so far I've used probably $60 in sandpaper, easy. So, yeah. And the outside is sanded with 1000 grit everywhere. Now I gotta yank the tape off, do all the edges, do the front bumper, and then the body's done. But let me show you. So I was able to get the majority of all of the fish eyes out of here, all the sand scratches out of it. Actually looks really good. This fender, on the other hand, we've got what appears to be some black spray bomb, or maybe an epoxy primer over top a body piece, over top another primer, and that was taped off edge, and then same thing up here. There's a big dent in here, and then same thing on the other side. Exact same spot. There's a dent right there too. So overall there's I think I counted like 5 burn throughs, and then 3 spots where the paint's really thin. So it would be best to respray the entire car in color, but that's up to the owner and he can go from there. So if he chooses to spray the whole thing in color, obviously there's more cost. Like as it is right now, just in materials alone, for a tiny bit of color and clear coat at the body shop, because it's going to a body shop to get clear coated, it is $1,000 materials in Canadian. So not a cheap hobby to have, but an awesome hobby to have. Not a cheap and frustrating, it is very frustrating hobby to have, because everything always seems to be more expensive than what people like me say. And the truth is, I don't know how many hours it's going to take to actually do this job, nor do I know the exact costs of the supplies. There's no formula for that when you get into the custom car world. So when you go and ask someone like me to do your car like this, I'll give you an idea, but I can't give you an exact cost. And sometimes that idea could also double depending on the work that we find as we go, because people that bring cars like this to us have a high expectation because they're used to seeing these $1 million cars, $500,000 cars running around. Truth is, this is a $2,000 job. So expectations better not be there, because it's a $2,000 job kind of thing. It's not the exact figure, but you know what I'm getting at. So yeah, another rant and rave for you. So, take off all the crappy blue tape. We are almost done. So, ka-chow! All the panels are done, everything's edged, little pieces are done. All that's left is that big spoiler. So, if you can tell, well, you can tell just by looking right here. Look at that dry spray on that thing. It's like fucking, it's like a cheese grater. I gotta watch my language. I swear a lot, and when editing my videos, I really don't care about bleeping or not bleeping out the swears, but I guess I should, so I'll try to get better at that, okay? It's my own bad, I know. I'm no different than zip ties, body supplies, or any of those guys, peg leg, those kind of things. Like, it's just bred into us. It's blue collar, we swear. Look at the top of this thing. Like, it looks like an ocean. Like, that's the kind of paint job. If you look at that there, that's pretty much what the whole car looked like. And remember, this was a meth head crackhead that painted this thing, and I don't know how he managed to do it off of whatever he's on, but he did it. So let's finish sanding this here. We got about an hour left, and I can blow the garage out, wipe the car down, and it is ready to go for clear coat. So that's pretty awesome. So I hope you enjoyed the video. We'll talk in a minute once I finish everything and go from there, but it's kind of boring, but this is what I do. I hope you all having a great Friday. Mine is a very fast kind of day, so one more piece to sand and it is ready for clear coat. Off to the shop for clear. My job is officially done on the Jetta. So my whole thing was to get it ready and prepped for clear coat for clear coat. Jesse's Jetta ready for clear. So all the panels have been touched up, sanded. There's a couple spots, so I'm going to go around with some masking tape and just put it on the burn through spots that I've noticed throughout the whole car so they can be sprayed in. So yeah, we're just going to take a little of this and we're going to go, hang on, I don't know if I can do this. We'll just go like that. We'll rip a couple pieces of tape. Is it a good video watching me like this? Okay, there we go. A couple piece of tape. So I knew there was one right here along the top edge there. There was one I saw on the spoiler that was thin paint. There was, let's grab these here. Obviously this one down over here. Dunk. That one there. I saw one up here. And I'm going to find a few more. So, my position on this car is done. This video is done and over with. So, thanks for watching my boring time sanding the car and 1000 grit and everything else. And I'll make sure I post a picture of it clear coated somehow. I don't know how yet, but we'll get there. So, yeah. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Follow me if you want, and if you don't want to, cool. Go follow someone else. It's all good. All I is build cars. And I'm very boring, but that's okay too. So, peace. I'm back in. Car's done, but I gotta add this in here. So these are the kind of things that I'm a professional. I've over 30,000 hours into building cars. It's insane the amount of cars I've built and things like that. And the biggest thing about cars is, like, yeah, you can go get it done by a guy for 5 grand, 10 grand, 2 grand, 20 grand, 50 grand, 100 grand, $500,000, $1 million, 5 million. Yes, there's custom cars that are worth over $5 million that were hand built, 100%. But when you're on a budget and you're trying to be really, really cheap, a lot of times what happens is the client goes in places and they basically say, I got $1,000. $1,000 doesn't buy sandpaper even to sand a car anymore. But I got $1,000. I want to paint my car for that. But the reality is, materials alone to paint a complete car. Let's say you're doing a full restoration, okay? If you're doing full restoration, materials alone to do a complete car, like we're talking jams, the outside, all the accessory stuff, everything. Like materials alone between sandpaper, primers, paint, nowadays between $10,000 and $20,000. Then you got metalwork below that, and that's grinding discs, that's sanding discs, that's welding gas, that's everything. Oh, easy. When you're building a full restoration car, that adds up to easy $10,000-$20,000 plus on that one. Just in materials to do these jobs now. So when you're on your budget, you can't really expect super high end or a great job for a low price. It just doesn't work that way. And like, it's reasons like this. Let me show you. So if you see, I don't know if you can see it. Let's see. Oh yeah, there we go. You can see that right there. That's actually underneath the clear coat. That right there, this whole top edge, this guy got on barely a little bit. Let me go back a little. Barely a little bit of base clear right here. And that's from a previous sanding and no coverage. And then overspray on the top edge to cover down this way. So like that whole top of the door has to be blended. Now here's the thing, when a car comes to someone like me, I'm good at what I do, but I'm not great. I'm not at the top of my game. There's other people way better than what I do. I'm kind of like mid-level, maybe I would say. But anyway, people come to me and or to anyone actually, any body shop guy, any body man, anything. The first thing they do is they pick out all of the flaws on the outside of the car. Now, what they don't realize is they're not paying to have everything fucking fixed. Plain and simple language. Plain and simple. You can't have everything fixed for a low cost. You can't have a perfect job for a low cost. You have a nice job. Okay job, did the driver maybe-ish, garbage truck job. But if you want something, you want to go around to car shows, you want to go on rallies on, any of those kinds of things, my name is on jobs like this. Other people. So when people get mad at us for an extra cost, well, guess what? Our name is on this and we have names to protect also. You come to people like me that have a good name for themselves and, well, we got to make sure that your vehicle's up to snuff because we know that you have expectations too, and we want to exceed those expectations for the cost that you're giving us. So yeah, things like this, that takes more product, more time, more money. You know, like, and like all the overspray, like here, look, here, exhaust tip. Now, why was that oversprayed? Because the guy that did it was too fucking lazy to wrap a little paper around it. Or to take the bumper off. Or the other thing, like, this is the one that chafes my butt. Is overspray on the rad support and overspray like on all the lights and wiring. Who does that? Why do you do that? Like, your building needs to go around and enjoy, so build it so it looks nice. Take the extra little time, and if it costs a little extra money, go get it. Go work a little harder, or always have extra in the budget for things, because like, this is just cool, and cool's not cheap. And if there's extra expenses along the way, extra time and labor. Plain and simple. So, if someone tells you they can do it for an exact amount, don't believe them. Because there's always extra costs. And if they do it for that exact amount, you know it was hacked. Plain and simple. Like when I do restorations on full cars, metal fab, say it's 69 Camaro. On average, if I do all the metal work on a 69 Camaro, it's anywhere from 400 to 700 hours of labor in metal fab and metal work to make sure it never rusts, make sure all the rust is gone. So that way when the car goes to that client, in 3 years' time, it doesn't come back to me with rust bubbles everywhere and him pissed off at me and mad at me. It's been treated properly. It has coatings and everything. And yeah, they will still rust. But at least you made the longevity of it the best that you possibly can. And that's the thing about building these. You can hack them together. They can fall apart on you all the time. Or you can take a little extra time, and it's going to cost a little extra money. And be proud of something that either you built at home, or you paid someone to build, or you paid someone to help you with, or whatnot. Like I do a lot of consulting also, so I go to people's houses and I help train them how to do cars and how to be better at what you do, grow, experience, learn, right? That kind of stuff. So yeah, don't get mad at the guy doing your car if he's doing the proper job. Get mad at the guy that is fucking your shit up. That's only gonna last a year or two. The proper job takes a lot more time and a lot more hours. And appreciate it, because you know at the end of the day, you have a craftsman working on your stuff. Not some Joe Blow method. That's my shit for the night. That's my rant. So yeah. Enjoy the rest of the video. I had to add that in. I don't know why. So yeah. It's Friday night. I'm gonna go see what everyone's up to.